What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Truckin' On. Today is a special solo episode. And what I'd like to talk to you about today is the universal manifestation formula. It dawned on me about 5 years ago that everything of meaning that I've accomplished in my life was done by instinctually working the same 5-step formula. So I believe also that everyone in the world works the same formula, basically. And I'm here to share that formula with you today. And these are the 5 steps that you need to accomplish anything in life, in my opinion, of significance. So, at least personal significance, right? That's all that really matters. And here are the steps. Number 1, you must have a clear intention. So, you have to know what you want if you want to get something. So you have to be specific about it and have a very specific goal. Some goals that I have had in my life, chronologically speaking, one of the first things I really remember like working this formula for was becoming class president when I was in high school. Then I played college football. So to become a college football player, I worked this formula. I worked this formula to get my first job out of college. I worked this formula to start a band, learn how to write songs, book shows, get signed to a record label, and tour the world. Then I used the formula to build my commercial real estate business. I used it to complete 3 Ironman triathlons. I used it to create this podcast and many other things. Parenting, I use it for. Sobriety, I've used it for. I have a whole nother podcast on the importance of the 12 steps. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to discount those, but learning the 12 steps occurred and working the 12 steps by working this formula. So number 1, I think it's clear. You must have a clear intention of what you desire. Step number 2, once you have your clear intention down, you must seek expert advice. So go find someone else who's accomplished the goal that you want to accomplish and ask them for advice. Ask them how they did it. And 9 times out of 10, experts are very happy and generous with their advice. At least the experts that you want to be talking to. And that's its own process. It's like having to prospect for business, but you're prospecting for information from people who have it. It's easy to find lots of information in books and on the internet, of course, but I find that finding information directly from a person who has accomplished the same thing or close to the same thing that you want to accomplish is the best way to really learn how to do that. So then step 3 is you must create something of value. And that's basically you got to do the work. So you're going to talk to the expert about your clear intention, and then you got to go do the work, do what they tell you to do. And that's ultimately what I found. It's going to require creating value of some type, which will require work because that's how value creation works is you have to put some effort into it. You create something of value. And then the 4th step is you tell the world about the value that you have now created. And it's similar process to seeking the information, but you have to find people that need the value you create and make a list of them and contact them. Sometimes those people might be yourself if you're working a process like sobriety. The value you create is not drinking. The people that you tell, that when you tell the world about the value you create, sometimes that's a self-conversation, like reminding yourself why you quit drinking. And then, so you're like creating value for yourself. But other examples of this process, let's say you want to be an actor, then That's your step number one. Step number two, go find lots of actors that are successful. Ask them for their advice. They will tell you to create something of value, become a good actor. How do you do that? I would imagine go to acting classes and go meet other actors and meet directors and go meet people that are in charge of putting performances together and go become like a seasoned performer. And then step 4, you go tell the world about it, and then you will reach your goal. I've never done that before, so I'm just using that as like a random example. I think if you think about anything that you've accomplished in life that is of significance to you, you probably wound up working these steps, because I think it's the only way to do anything. And it's also a way, at least, to do everything. There's nothing that I haven't been able to do by working this process. The podcast. I want to start a podcast. I went and talked to podcasters. I found out what microphones to use and recording equipment and cameras and lighting. And I did all that. Then I listened to a lot of podcasts, and then I started doing the podcast and creating something of value. Now I'm marketing that. And so I'm telling the world about it because I'm trying to grow my listenership. In commercial real estate, I worked with many amazing mentors, and I still seek expert advice in real estate all the time from people, but they taught me how to do things. So I learned how to create value in the world of commercial real estate. And I went and did that work. I started out by tracking every building and every tenant and every owner within 2 zip codes in Dallas. And then I went to step 4 and I told the world about it. And I really just contacted everyone in those 2 zip codes and told them, I know all about your real estate market and I can really help you generate value. And then I eventually became a successful real estate broker. Step number 5, the final step, is very simple, yet not easy. Like most great things in life, simple, not easy. Step 5 is you repeat steps 2, 3, and 4, but you do not change step number 1. So you must keep your same clear intention. Don't change that. When you change it, this whole thing falls apart. So keep your clear intention and then go seek your expert advice, create something of value, and tell the world about it. And when you repeat steps 2, 3, and 4, which you should constantly do, as long as you still have the same desire, then you are going to constantly evolve your knowledge by seeking expert advice. You will constantly evolve your value proposition or the value that you create by continuing to hone that. Because once you tell the world about the value you create the first time around, you might get some pushback. You might find that that value is not good enough to make you successful enough to reach your desired outcome, your step number 1. So that's why you got to keep going back. Seek more expert advice. Well, this isn't working. What advice would you give me? Okay, boom, your value proposition's getting stronger. Then go back out and you tell the world about it. And then you have something of greater value. Then you keep repeating steps 2, 3, and 4. And before you know it, it is magic, ladies and gentlemen. And step number 1 will occur. It will not fail, this formula. I've worked it too many times. I've had too many insane goals that I set out to accomplish that I worked this formula for, and it works every time. You just have to be persistent. You have to really give great respect and reverence to step 5 and repeat steps 2, 3, and 4 with persistency and passion. And that, my friends, is the universal manifestation formula. So I hope this helps you to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish in life. And isn't that so cool that that's possible? Because it is. That's all I got. Thanks for trucking on. Namaste.